Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive to talk about this new partnership is Booz Allen Hamilton CEO Horacio Rozanski. Horacio, tell us about the deal and why it's good for Booz Hamilton and Booz Allen and why it's good for Andreessen.
Hi, Liz. Thank you for having me. Super excited to talk about this. So Booz Allen is in the business of building technology that goes into the most important missions of our government, from civilian missions to all types of national security missions. And we've been working with companies that are in the portfolio that you talked about for years, because we have a huge tradition of not reinventing the wheel and taking advantage of others' investments to make our technology work better. As we began working with Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, what I came to realize is there's so many companies in this 1,000+ company portfolio that aren't focused on the government or on defense necessarily, but
they're focusing on things like retail or commercial
fintech
products.
companies, health tech companies that have cool technology that we can incorporate with our technology to advance the missions of the government. And so a good example of that, there's a company called Move. They're a fintech company in their portfolio. We're working with them and a couple other innovators in Silicon Valley to reimagine payments, to make them more secure, to make them more effective, to bring them forward. And who's the biggest payer in the world is the government, if you think about all the things, all the checks the government has to cut for everything that they do. And so we're super excited because this will take what they do best, what we do best. You take two market leaders, you put them together, good things happen.
Okay, so because you have that expertise in looking at government operations and looking at things like, say, for example, the Pentagon budget and saying, I see you need this. So you're matching some of the Andreessen portfolio companies with your technology and your platforms, mushing it together and saying to the U.S. government, this is going to solve a problem? Right.
And not just the U.S. government, but governments around the world. But yes, I mean, the U.S. government is a primary opportunity. But here's a good example. You talk about Mistral. Mistral AI is a French AI company, the leader there. As we began talking with them, we realized there were things that we could do together for NATO and for our allies in Europe that neither one of our companies was focused on. And so now we're beginning to work on that together.
So you're kind of showing them a way to more sales.
Sure, it expands their market. It certainly expands our market. And strategically, which is what I really care about, it accelerates us because, as I've said on your show before, we're in this race with China. We have to be faster. This is why the president is talking about a bigger budget. We need to be faster. We need to move faster. And bringing private sector investment into the government across the board and at scale, like we're doing with A16, is a way to do it.
You mentioned faster. Silicon Valley is fast. They say, move fast and break things. Just try and keep trying, and even if you fail, figure it out.
Right.
The government moves at a snail's pace sometimes.
Sometimes.
Are they concerned, I'm talking about the Silicon Valley gang, that this will all be too slow?
You know, there is always that concern, and I worry about that too, because I think we all want to see our government move faster. We all want to see us as a nation continue to outpace China in areas from AI to cyber to quantum and so forth. So this is a way to team up, bring the best of what we all can do, and just accelerate. And this is what, honestly, Pentagon leadership is focused on as we speak. The White House and the president are focused on as we speak, and we want to be part of the solution.
Booz Allen, often people call it a consulting firm. You are so much more than that. I mean, you guys are making products. You have this product here. Talk about exactly what this is and who's using it.
So this is the Tactical Assault Kit phone, and this was something that we developed together with the United States Army developed this, and we were their partner in making this happen. And the tag is what you see typically in movies. A soldier will have it on their chest, and they'll be looking at it like this.
Okay.
And they get all sorts of information, from location awareness to what a drone can see overhead, to all types of information. And we're embedding AI in here to make sure that they get the right information faster, to make sure that, for example, they can translate a road sign that they see in a country they're not familiar with, to bring all of the best, so again, all these commercial technologies to our warfighters to make them safer, to make them faster, to make them even more effective than they are today.
It feels like that could be used, say, for example, at big events here in the United States, the inauguration, and does it link different agencies together?
Absolutely. We've built a back end to this. It's called CIDEX, and that's exactly what it does. It brings together this type of a device, right? there's a military version, there's a civilian version, that a law enforcement agency, that many already use them. In a big event like the World Cup is coming up, our 250th anniversary, the 4th of July. These are going to be big events where we want to make sure that all of for responders, everybody that's working there has the right information at their fingertips.
You're working with one of the Andreessen companies, Shield AI, and this is an autonomous equipment for military drones, et cetera.
Right.
This is an interesting company. What is it that Booz Allen is doing with them?
So Shield is started as a drone company. They still make fantastic drones. But the other thing that they've done is they've taken their core software, autonomy software, called HiveMind, and they've turned it into almost an operating system for autonomy. And we're building on top of that, and we're putting our own technology, our own cyber expertise into it so that it can do more things and it can actually work across a bigger set of opportunities.
Last Thursday at CES, we talked to Palmer Luckey of Anduril, and his whole point about autonomy, and it feels like you guys are working in lockstep there, is really important because it keeps our human soldiers safe. Here's what he said, and then I'll have you react.
If you're looking at a threatening nation like Russia, or like Iran, or like North Korea, you want to be going after them with systems where they know that you're not afraid to lose them. They know that if you put a U.S. carrier or a U.S. submarine up against their forces, there's a huge political, moral, and economic risk that you're going to lose it. Robots, not so much.
You are very much involved in that. Can I ask if Booz Allen Technology was in anything that happened recently where the U.S. military attacked the Iranian, nuclear facilities?
So we work across a number of national security issues, and our technology is supporting our warfighters wherever they are. And we're very excited about that. And Palmer is absolutely right. I mean, autonomy is going to be a big part of this, creating mass of systems that are treatable, that can be lost, that are not that expensive. Is going to be a part of it. One of the things that we're not talking enough about, that's all on the kinetic side, things that go boom. You have the other side of it, which is the non-kinetic, the cyber things, where autonomy is coming to cyber at just breakneck speed. In fact, autonomous AI agents are going to be a cyber threat as early as in 2026.
And that means that, say, for example, the bad actors, China, North Korea, Russia, have these agents that are tapping on all of our firewalls, but at hyperspeed?
Absolutely right. You know, we have in our lab, we created a test for how these things would work. And something that would take a talented group of hackers a week or two to do to penetrate a network, this system we created in the lab, in our test bed, did it in 4.5 minutes. I mean, that is the speed at which this is going to move, which is why we're building the technology to counter that at exactly the same speed, if not faster.
Can I hold that?
Of course, yeah.
I won't drop it.
Hey, no, it can't break.
Was this on the chests of the military who went in to get Nicolas Maduro?
I can't talk about that.
Yes, I tried. I'm going to take that as a yes. Horacio, fascinating developments, and good luck with the Andreessen partnership.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Thank you.